Hello everybody, happy St. Patrick's Day, Bruce McGonigal here. So Mark Carney today has decided, amazingly, that sovereignty in Canada is actually not as important as we all thought it was. Remember how we've got this economic war with Donald Trump and how Canada will never be the 51st state? Well, apparently, according to Mark Carney, we actually want to be more like Europe. We want to be in the World Economic Forum run EU. Because apparently, in order to do business with the EU during this economic war against Trump, we have to surrender to the World Economics Forum plan of a carbon tax. So the very carbon tax that Mark Carney pretended to rip up and eliminate is now back on the table because his World Economic Forum buddies say there is no deal to be had with the European Union if we don't reinstate the carbon tax. Isn't that wonderful, folks? So Mark Carney runs around telling Canadians the tax is not working for Canadians, but the people in Europe do not care, and so that we're going to have to cater to Europe. Doesn't that make us a vassal of Europe? Isn't that exactly why America fought a war of independence against Britain? Because Britain just kept jacking up taxes over in America, and people felt that they weren't getting any representation for the money that they were giving out. Well, that's where we're at right now. And Mark Carney is telling us, in order for us to do business with the European Union, we have to give them our hard-earned money that we really can't afford to give them, and it will go to projects that they decide and have their interest in. So in other words, it's for profit for them. Okay? They're not saving the planet because of the good of their nature. None of these people who are ultra billionaires are investing their money directly into helping people impacted by climate change. No. Instead, they lobby the government so that the government can raise taxes, and then the government can hand money to them, and they can preach at us from their ivory towers and their super yachts with two actual landing pads for helicopters. Okay? The one that Bill Gates was touring around in not only had two helicopter landing pads, folks, he also had a submarine built into the bottom of it so that he could evacuate from the center of the boat itself, drop into the water, and make a getaway. Okay? It sounds like a James Bond movie because there are James Bond movies with those types of things in them. Our rich folks that are playing the global citizen movement are addicted to treating people like garbage. In fact, I'm sure that they get a big kick out of it. They get endorphin rushes and everything else like that every single time they can assert their authority over people without actually being elected to do anything for anybody. Like Bill Gates, right? Bill Gates is taking it on himself to stop cows from farting, but we have to pay for it. Notice that? It's not Bill Gates using money that he promised he would use his wealth to give it away to charity. Remember? He's going to be a philanthropist. Well, apparently, philanthropy now means for profit because all his foundation keeps doing is seeing money go up. It's a breadwinner, folks. It's not giving away money, it's making money. So that tells you everything you need to know about Bill Gates, right? This is who Mark Carney works for. He works for these people. He doesn't work for Canadians. He wasn't elected by Canadians. He doesn't have a mandate from Canadians. He has a mandate just like Chrystia Freeland did and Justin Trudeau and Jagmeet Singh. His mandate is to the World Economic Forum agenda. Klaus Schwab flat out said he was relying on Chrystia Freeland as the Deputy Prime Minister to implement the World Economic Forum agenda in Canada. An agenda that these people did not run on in the election and told us it was a conspiracy to even say that there was an agenda from the World Economic Forum that seeks to override democracy in Canada. We already seen with Jean Charest, remember? He was supposed to be the conservative leader. He ran to be the conservative leader. Last year, in 2022, he ran. And he lost horribly to Pierre Poilievre. Well, what did we see? We see him in photos with Justin Trudeau as Justin Trudeau was leaving. Justin Trudeau actually had Jean Charest in a place of honor. Just one seat away from Justin Trudeau in his final farewell photo op, session that he had there. So when we're looking at all of this stuff, we have to start asking ourselves, why the hell are Canadians being so docile about this? Okay? If you're mad about Donald Trump trying to ruin Canadian sovereignty, you should be just as mad as the European Union now trying to tell Canadians what taxes we should and should not pay. Last time I checked, Canada didn't turn around and go over and ask Europe to put a tax aside to pay off for our veterans who went over and died protecting them in 2 separate world wars, folks. Okay? If anybody should be paying a tax, it should be Europe paying a tax to pay back Canada for the blood and sweat that we had to lose to protect their freedoms. Instead, they want to take away our freedoms in Canada. Well, guess what? I'm not kidding you. Take it that way, World Economic Forum. You people are terrible human beings. And to think that Canada should be any part of the EU after watching what they did to their own people, including throwing people in jail for memes, including ignoring rape gangs raping little British girls because the people who were raping them were Pakistani men that the government relies on for votes. So the government ignored the fact and literally enabled these people to rape those kids. It's absolutely terrible. This is the people that Mark Carney wants us to team up with against Trump, but only on their terms, folks. So we need to really start telling Mark Carney and Canadians the truth. Mark Carney is not a savior. Mark Carney's not here to protect Canada. Mark Carney is trying to do a hostile takeover of Canada and then gut us completely from the inside out, just like we've seen in the UK. We've just watched what happened when the World Economic Forum removes one member and replaces it with another. When people aren't happy with the World Economic Forum and push them out, that makes the World Economic Forum very mad, very vengeful, and then the World Economic Forum doubles or even triples down on their tyrannical ways. We need Mark Carney gone, folks. Anyways, I hope you have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. I hope this video gives you some focus on why it's so important right now to pay attention to what is going on.